সালামু আলাইকুম। বিরতির পর আবার আমরা ফিরে এলাম আজকের চ্যারিটি ইন প্রোগ্রেস অনুষ্ঠানে। কথা বলছিলাম আল ইশারার সাথে। আমরা শুনছিলাম ইন আওয়ার প্রিভিয়াস সেগমেন্ট যে কীরকম তারা ডেফ কমিউনিটির জন্য কাজ করে যাচ্ছেন এবং কীরকম তাদেরকে ইসলাম বা জ্ঞান শিক্ষা দিচ্ছেন, বিভিন্ন ধরনের ইসলামিক শিক্ষা, কোরআনের শিক্ষা এবং ইম্পর্টেন্টলি কোরআনের যে কমপ্লেক্স যে শিক্ষাগুলি আছে এরকম কীরকম এটাকে সিম্পলিফাই করে তাদের যেভাবে বোঝার সুবিধা হয় এইসব বিষয় নিয়ে আমরা প্রথম সেগমেন্টে আলোচনা করছিলাম। এই সেগমেন্টে আমরা আলোচনা করব যে সাইক্লিং ইভেন্ট যেটা হচ্ছে এটা কোথা থেকে হচ্ছে, কিভাবে হচ্ছে, আপনারা কিভাবে অংশগ্রহণ করতে পারেন এবং মোস্ট ইম্পর্টেন্টলি আমরা জানার চেষ্টা করব দুটি আপিল হয়েছিল এই গত বছর রোজা মাসে কীরকম সফলতা অর্জন করেছেন এবং কীরকম তারা আপনাদের দেয়া ডোনেশনকে কাজে লাগিয়েছেন। এই বিষয়ে সব আমরা ইনশাল্লাহ এই সেগমেন্টে জানার চেষ্টা করব। Now, Brother Shamsul Abidin, if I can start with you. Now, the events that you have talked about, I am aware that you will be taking part with Al Isharah for cycling event. Now, if you can start, where is this event happening and when is it happening?
Okay, so this event that we're doing for Al Isharah is called London to Margate, codenamed L2M, is how we code our names, our rides. It's starting from, you'll start from East London, Altapali Park, near East London Masjid.
And how do people register?
Okay, registration is pretty simple. They need to go to our website, which is www.hopeandknowledge.com/deafride, and the word "and" is actually the word "and" instead of the symbol.
So is all the information there on the website?
All the information is there.
With the contact details?
Our contact details and a link to complete the registration form as well.
Now, is there any age restriction?
The age restriction is there, is 16. Between 16 to 17, we need parents' consent.
Okay.
And then other than that, 18 plus.
Okay, and how many people are we aiming for?
Well, subhanAllah, so far, we have got around 80 people registered.
Already registered, confirmed?
Yeah, confirmed. This will be, I think I confirmed with Brother Azad as well, this will be the first time ever a cycle charity is taking place in support of deaf people, deaf community. So hence we've nicknamed it the Deaf Ride, because we want to raise awareness for the Muslim deaf community.
Now, the question I would have is not necessarily all the people that have registered, the 80 people that you have mentioned, or people who will be inshallah joining soon, might be accustomed or familiar with cycling. So what trainings or is there anything in place for the brothers that are not quite frequent, they're not too good in cycling or don't know much about cycling? How, if they want to get engaged, what sort of training are there in place?
No, absolutely. I'm actually quite pleased to say that every year we do this regional ride, like previous year London to Hastings, London to Oxford, Cambridge to London. These are what the
different cities.
Different cities that we do. Even though we get the brothers actually repeatedly signing up again, we always get a big influx of new riders who also come in place. And through our experience for the last 3 to 4 years of dealing with this, we've now, alhamdulillah, got a system implemented with our training plan that we have that actually prepares you for the actual event.
So how long does that preparation take place?
I mean, we've actually just started our training ride for the London to Margate.
When is it happening?
The trainings are every Saturday morning.
Every Saturday morning, okay.
Once they register, they get the information of the training schedule. All the details get sent. What I was saying was...
Now, the other thing I wanted to also ask you, is there any registration fee involved?
There is. Unfortunately, there is other cost element to it as well. With Hope and Knowledge, our main aim is we always try to minimize cost, because our main aim is to get brothers into cycling. So while there's a brotherhood there, there's the essence of getting fit as well, and the whole thing within helping the community. So we try to minimize the cost as possible. So the registration fee is £25. However, with £25, we get in the whole support vehicle that's going to be there throughout the whole London to Margate. In case some of the brother can't take part, they have to get into minibus. That will also bring the bikes back. We also have a coach that's going to bring everybody back from Margate back to East London. We also have a full barbecue by the beach in Margate. And also there's a jersey. If I could just quickly show you a jersey that we've got. This is the one that...
Is that the jersey that will be...
Yeah, this is the custom jersey every rider that participates will get with Ali Shara.
So they'll be wearing this jersey?
They'll be wearing this.
Okay.
Again, when you have 80 people riding through streets
So
of
there's
London,
cost involved to even
there is
making
cost
this.
involved. And I mean, to be honest with you, yeah, we always try to minimize it. And so once something like this will always bring awareness. People will ask questions throughout as we cycle. We generally get people asking questions: what are you doing this for? What's the cause for?
I mean, that means that whatever people will be, the fees that they will be paying for will be fully dedicated for the costs that are involved there.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, Hope and Knowledge or HNK Cycle Club, we are purely volunteers and we don't take a single penny from what we do.
Okay, so there's the donation fully gets utilized with the services you provide. Okay, now the other thing is, where do you, I mean, you mentioned about Al Tawali Park, people will be meeting there, I gather, and is that do they need to come back again cycling, or how is the return journey?
So the return journey will have vans that's going to be to bring it back the cycle.
Okay, so it's a one-way journey.
It's a one-way journey, approximately 75 miles.
Now, the other element of this issue would be health and safety. Now, a lot of brothers, they might want to engage in cycling, perhaps engaging in a course that you're involved with, but perhaps the health might not allow them. So what checks or what medical issues are there in place, or any health and safety issues are there in place that to ensure the people who will be participating are fully healthy and will be able to cycle for that particular mile or length?
Part of our online registration form does ask you certain questions about your health, if there's any particular medication that you're on, and we do look with that against the British Cycling to make sure if there's anything that will actually be challenging for them to take part in cycling. Other than that, in terms of the fitness, again, through our experiences, and we have, alhamdulillah, 30, 40 experienced riders, senior riders of Hope and Knowledge. Within our training, we get to pick out some of the brothers, their weaknesses and their strength, and we help them throughout the training process to get them fit and ready. As of yet, I could say that last year we did London to Hastings, again, 80 miles, and everybody that took part, 70% were complete newbies, and they completed it.
Alhamdulillah, successfully completed it.
With a barbecue at the end by the beach.
That's good, alhamdulillah. I mean, the other thing I would have is just to make sure we're fully aware. Is there any prizes involved? Is there any gifts giveaway there?
We don't actually try to go into that because in case it affects people's intention.
Okay, fair enough.
So we try to stay away from that.
And when is the deadline for the registration?
The deadline for the registration is Sunday, 5th of February. So, again, because we need to order.
Which is next week, Monday.
Yeah.
Okay. So what about if someone is thinking that not to register but to be there on the day? Will it be possible to accommodate, or what do you encourage more?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, if they want to come for the day, if you got people that wants to take part in the ride, and they also want their friends and family to meet them by the beach, we can also provide barbecues for the friends and family. We had that last year. They can enjoy the beach side with the barbecue and everything, as well. We can also provide that as well.
Now, with the registration, is it only online based, or is there other methods of registering?
It's actually online based at the moment.
Now, some people might not have access to internet due to various reasons. They might not be IT literate and so on and so forth. So for them, is there any alternative?
Absolutely. I mean, there's a contact number on that website, Hope and Knowledge.
If you can tell the website again.
Yeah, it's Hope and Knowledge, the word and A-N-D, knowledge.com/deaf ride. There's a flyer there with a contact number. If they contact us saying they can't complete the form, again, we'll be more than happy to deal with it separately.
Great. And does Al Isharah website not provide details of this cycling event?
Yes, we do. Also, if you go on alisharah.com/deaf ride, you'll also find full details of that. Of course, they can contact Al Isharah as well. If they want to come into Al Isharah as well, we can provide that support.
Thank you very much, brother Azad Hussain. Now, brother Amin Habib, as you're a teacher, now you did mention about different spectrum of hearing. Now, when you talk about different spectra, in a room when you have to amplify the sound, there could be certain issues like, for example, the noise might be going out of the class, it might perhaps disturb the other community or wherever you are based. Now, how do you tackle this issue? How do you ensure that the other community or the other society, or perhaps people of other faith might be somewhere around you, they're not disturbed?
Yeah, so with the students, because like you've rightfully mentioned, that sound plays a big factor into their learning, we first try and obviously, as you would do with any group of students, get them into an isolated room, try and use carpets and floors which don't amplify the noise too much. And of course, most importantly, the students all have a hearing aid and a cochlear implant to help them listen properly. Without it, of course, varying levels of deafness would make it very difficult for them to engage at all. And I think the one thing I noticed is my second year of teaching. The one thing I noticed very quickly was that students, when they can't hear you very well, they immediately switch off, and they don't really take much in because they can't access what you're saying. So through the hearing implants and the cochlear aids, that allows them to try and pick up as much.
Is there any
noise as
major
they can.
difference between the two?
There is a difference. So the hearing aid is what amplifies the noise in the room, so
Okay.
that they're able to hear. Whereas the cochlear implants allow sound waves that they receive. So it's a bit scientific here, but when sound waves come into their ears, it allows them to bypass the areas of the ear which are slightly not working as well, so that it goes straight to the nerves that go up to the brain and allow them to understand the noise.
That's great. Now, what would you say to the teachers who are, mashallah, professional teachers out there like yourself, but they're teaching in the mainstream school, would like to get involved with Isharah perhaps in the weekend? What sort of advice would you give to them? How can they get involved?
So Isharah have opened a few new schools recently.
Where are they?
So the first school was in Whitechapel originally, and last year Redbridge was opened. And this academic year now there's a new school in Luton.
Newton, okay. So is the intention going nationwide?
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you very much for that. Now, Brother Azad Hussain, there is another issue that I wanted to specifically touch on, is the sign language khutbah. Now, if you can touch a little bit about it, because obviously people who frequently visit East London Mosque, they can understand and can relate. Perhaps a lot of other masajid might not be doing it at this moment in time. Now, if you can briefly touch for within 30 seconds, what is this? What does this involve?
So obviously, as you know, we take for granted the fact that we have accessibility to the khutbah, and the khutbah serves a very essential role within the Muslim community in providing at least a weekly reminder touching upon current affairs and spiritual issues. The deaf community, for the large part, haven't had that. We specifically provide an interpreter who has been versed in Islamic lexicology. He understands Islamic context, Islamic history, and so on and so forth. On a weekly basis, we will get an interpreter. He will liaise
He's
with...
He's
a qualified interpreter registered with a professional body. He will come in. He will liaise with the imam. He will do whatever the relevant professional preparation work is. And then thereafter, he will interpret the khutbah live to an audience. That khutbah is also available to be viewed through live streaming to an audience of over thousands, as well as through televised channels.
So in other words, the deaf community are not deprived of the understanding of the khutbah?
Within the vicinity that we operate, no, they're not. But unfortunately, there's probably only 2 or 3 mosques in the UK that we know that are doing this.
Now, if some mosque wants to get involved and wants to have the sign language within the masjid, what should they do?
So they can contact us. You can contact us on info@alisharah.com. That's Alisharah, ALISHARAH.com. And inshallah, we can provide the full support for what they need to basically make sure that they understand the sensitive needs of deaf people, and also to provide interpreters for their services.
Thank you very much for that, inshallah. And my last word if I can ask Brother Amin Habib, I've been told that you're learning sign language.
That's correct.
How difficult it is?
It's so I'm doing my level 1 at the moment, and it's split into 3 sub-levels. So I've, alhamdulillah, passed my first sub-level. They call it 101, and I'm now on 102, which is a bit tricky. I do need to revise a bit more.
Thank you very much for that, inshallah. Finally, Azad Hussain Bhai, last 5 and 10 seconds, final words to my audience.
So Jazakallah khair to Channel S for having us, and Jazakallah khair to our audience who very generously, mashallah, donated to our organization during the month of Ramadan, through which, alhamdulillah, we've been able to establish a new school in Luton, through which now, alhamdulillah, we have a number of qualified interpreters, linguists, Arabic linguists, deaf consultants who are on a week-by-week basis working on translating the Quran, so that for the first time in British history, the visual representation of the words of Allah is available, so the deaf community can learn what the wahi which the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam brought.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you very much. And final word from you, Shamsul Abidin Bhai. People, how can people get involved, and what should they do? And final words in 10 seconds.
In 10 seconds, I'll just say I encourage everyone to participate in this event, London to Margate. It's the first ever deaf ride supporting our Muslim deaf community. If the sisters out there, get your husbands, your brothers to come and support this.
What's the website?
Our website is www.hopeandknowledge.com/deaf Deaf Ride.
And the email address if they need to get in touch with Al Isharah?
It's info@alisharah.com.
And the website?
Our website is www.alisharah.com.
Thank you very much. That's all. Our time is up now, inshallah. Thank you very much for joining with us and sharing your valuable knowledge. And with this, my dear viewers, we have come to the conclusion of our tonight's discussion. আমরা কথা বলছিলাম আল ইশারার সঙ্গে, স্পেশালি একটি ইউনিক প্রজেক্ট। তারা পার্টিকুলারলি ডেফ কমিউনিটির সাথে কাজ করছে এবং এই সরকার এই দেশে যেখানে আমরা বসবাস করছি তারা বলে এখানে একটি স্লোগান আছে, এভরি চাইল্ড ম্যাটার্স। যেখানে রাষ্ট্রীয়ভাবে এত গুরুত্ব দেওয়া হয় অ্যাজ এ মুসলমান, অ্যাজ এ মুসলিম কমিউনিটি, আমাদের কেন এই নেগলিজেন্সটা? প্রথমে এই প্রশ্ন আমাদেরকে জিজ্ঞেস করতে হবে। এবং সেকেন্ডলি, যাদের বাচ্চারা এরকম পরিস্থিতিতে আছেন, it is our responsibility to ensure that they need to be looked after. We need to make sure that the equal amount of opportunities are given to them. কারণ আমরা তাদেরকে কখনো ডিপ্রাইভ করতে পারবো না। এবং সবচেয়ে ইম্পর্টেন্ট বিষয়টি হচ্ছে অনেক ডেফ কমিউনিটির বাচ্চারা কিন্তু ইসলাম থেকে সরে যাচ্ছেন মাত্র এই জন্যই বিকজ দে ডোন্ট আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড। যার জন্য অ্যাজ এ চ্যানেল এস আমরা মনে করি এটা একটি রেসপন্সিবিলিটি চ্যানেল এস এরকম প্রজেক্টগুলিকে সহায়তা করার, তাকে এরকম ইউনিক প্রজেক্ট ফর দ্য বেটারমেন্ট অফ দ্য মুসলিম কমিউনিটি হেয়ার ইন দ্য ইউকে, উইচ ইজ প্রাইমারিলি বেসড ইন দ্য ইউকে অ্যান্ড টার্গেটিং দ্য ব্রিটিশ মুসলিম কমিউনিটি। আমরা আশা করব আপনারা সবাই এইরকম প্রজেক্টের সাথে অংশগ্রহণ করবেন এবং যাদের এবিলিটি আছে, ফিজিক্যালি ফিট যারা আছেন, আপনারা অনুগ্রহ করে আমাদেরকে এখানে বলা হয়েছে যে ওয়েবসাইট, প্লিজ ফিল ফ্রি, আল ইশারার ওয়েবসাইট আছে, HNK এর ওয়েবসাইট আছে, আপনারা প্লিজ ভিজিট করবেন এবং ডিটেলগুলি আপনারা এখান থেকে নিয়ে প্লিজ ডু রেজিস্টার। দ্যাটস অল ফ্রম মি ফর টুডে। ইনশাআল্লাহ আগামীতে আবারও দেখা হবে। আসসালামু আলাইকুম ওয়া রাহমাতুল্লাহি ওয়া বারাকাতুহু।